Don't have a lightning delay, but I think today we probably done a little better than we did last week. If you look at it during the game, when we didn't make mental errors on offense, we went to the right folks. Stepped with the right foot, we had a little bit of success. You got to give East Tennessee State credit. They gave a bunch of different looks. They stemmed around. They played hard. I think at the end of the first quarter, we had eight rush attempts for -1 yard. Those guys got after us really well. Defensively, we got 2 turnovers there and scored once and set the offense up there at the 2 or 3 yard line. Markwell Osborne blocked a punt. So you're talking about, there's 21 points right there just from really non-offensive touchdowns. So that's good. We need to be opportunistic. We need to take care of the ball. We did have 1 turnover today. Actually, they reversed that one, right? Yeah, they reversed that one. Sorry. So that's good. I think that's 2 weeks in a row, which is a streak that we need to keep going. We need to get more turnovers. We got a chance to play a lot of people, which was good. Our twos didn't execute very well. We need to improve on that. We've got to create depth, and it's good that we gave them an opportunity. Our guys need to play. They need to play a lot of snaps. Probably this past spring, we needed one of those old-fashioned spring deals. Back like when I played, where you went out there and snapped the ball. Snapped the ball a bunch of times. But with our lack of depth on the offensive line, we couldn't actually do that. So the more chances we get this fall to get these second guys in, I think it'll give them a chance to have success. So, I thought both quarterbacks played well, played within themselves. One time we took a sack on first down, which we shouldn't have. Got to improve there because our margin of error is not very large. We don't need to be getting in second and 17s. So, but I thought a lot of positives in this game. There's still a lot of lessons that we can learn. We've got a very inexperienced group, and I hope we take the lessons from this game and improve on it. Without any questions.
David and Steve. Jerry, those big defensive plays and the block punt, which one of those impressed you the most? Or which one
Well, I would think that they were probably doing it the way I like to on all 3 occasions. We got 2 turnovers. One of them we scored a touchdown on. Another one we turned down to 3. We block a punt and scoop and score, so that's good. And I think when we execute, we give ourselves a chance. When we don't, we have no chance.
Just what was said during that weather delay, obviously y'all came out with 28 points in just a short amount of time. After that, you weren't doing a whole lot before. What was said?
Well, I think probably last week was a good lesson for the players. I don't think that we done a whole lot differently from a coaching staff. We got our plan together. We presented it to the players, but I think our strength staff, I think our support staff tried to create a little more juice when we come out on the field. Last week when we got out there, for whatever reason, it's my fault. I didn't see a lot of that. So we've got to improve on that. Everything's new for our guys. Okay, we get up, 45 points. It's new for them. How do you act? Okay, how do you play? The expectation shouldn't change. To me, the scoreboard's 0-0. Why should the scoreboard affect the way you play? So there's lots of lessons for us to learn, and we're new in this program, and we'll learn them and keep chugging along.
Jimmy, and then Blake.
Jeremy, you mentioned the -1 yard rush in the first quarter. Do you think that had to do with Kennedy not being at the center and having a new offensive line, or was it more what ETSU was throwing at you?
Yeah, I think you got to give East Tennessee State credit. I've watched them this week. Defensively, they're very multiple. They do a really good job. They play hard. They're sound. They squeeze the ball. They disguise very well. So I think it was probably more of them than it was than anybody else.
Blake and Austin.
Jerry, your first home game, just pure emotions, going through the ball pregame, and then to get your first win. How does that feel?
Well, to me, I don't see this no different than any other game I've coached in. So I'm happy we won. Probably you'll figure out the more games we win, I'll probably be a little more ticked at the games we win, because there's a standard that we want to play to. You know, and everything wasn't perfect this week. Everything wasn't perfect, you know, in the last couple of days, trying to get things right, even our warm-ups today. But we're learning from it, and I think it'll make us a better football team, and it's going to make us a better football program.
Austin?
Coach, you talked about the players earning it each week. What's Bryce Thompson done to earn the reps he's getting, and what's he doing well with you guys?
Well, I think Bryce would be the first to tell you he didn't play very well last week, not on Saturday. Some of their players had something to do with it, and some of his lack of probably experience and you know, making some errors had a lot to do with it. But the one thing he did, he came back on Monday and he competed. And he played with an edge. He practiced with an edge. If he continues to do that, he's going to get better every week. So it was drastically different than some of the other guys. So,
Brandon, Jesse?
Coach, as a follow-up to that, was that an important lesson that you wanted to make sure your guys understood why you changed a little bit of your lineup? And secondly, what did you see out of Jeremy Banks today?
well, to me, the guys that practice are the guys that's going to play, the guys that practice the right way. You know, like today, Ty Chandler could have played, and Ty can't help it that you know, he had an injury last week, but he really didn't get a chance to truly participate till about Wednesday or Thursday. And those other guys have had good weeks, you know, so just to be fair to those guys, we should give them opportunities. And the way we were going to play Ty today, but the way the score got, we held him out. So, but Jeremy Banks is another guy that likes to practice. He practices the right way, competes hard. He's got a lot to learn, okay, when it comes to his judgment in practice, staying on his feet, when to try to run over people, when to let them thud him. But you know what? I'd rather be saying whoa than go. So you have to say whoa with him.
Jesse, then Ron?
Just got another newcomer that shined today, Emmett Gooden. What did you see from him kind of live and kind of how he helped disrupt, especially in the second half?
Well, you know, Emmett played last week. You know, I don't know how much he shined today. You may have saw something I didn't, but he's been playing. I think the guy's got ability. You know, he's still learning how to work. He's still learning the defense. And when he wants to, he can be a pretty good football player. But he got to do it all the time. And that's not just him. That's a lot of guys in our program. And when they do it right, they have a chance to have success.
Robin, Steve, and Corey?
Coach, quarterback, what did you think about both of them today, especially the deep balls and no turnovers for the position through 2 games? How pleased you were with that?
Well, I think it's important that we're efficient, and I thought we were. We didn't give up 1 sack. We took care of the ball. For the most part, we stayed in the right, you know, plays offensively. So, you know, those guys are learning. I think they're developing. They're gaining confidence in the system that they're running. You know, so, you know, I think it was another solid performance by both guys.
Was it scripted to get Kellen in when he went in today? Did you know when he was going to go?
Yeah, you think somebody else did?
Coach, what was
Yes,
your
it was scripted.
Coach, what was your message to the team after the game?
Well, to me, it's an opportunity to learn. Okay, we're still making a ton of mistakes. Whether it's, you know, how we act at the hotel, how we go through walkthroughs, how we do one reels. Okay, it's all learning experience. We got a lot of guys that are young, that are inexperienced. They're learning exactly the standard that we want, how to warm up, how to dress at the game. You know, things that ain't got nothing to do with winning the game, but it's got to do with doing it the right way and the way we want it done. Which is to be a disciplined football team. So, but you know what? Hey, I had 2 great parents at home. I didn't always do what they told me to do. Okay, so that's why there's discipline, and they helped me out a lot along the way. So that's what we're here. We're here to coach. If they were doing it right, we wouldn't have coaches. So we got a good staff, and I think our staff will continue to do that and help develop these guys to get them, you know, kind of thinking the same way we think.
Corey, then David Cobb?
Coach, you guys held ETSU to just 2 for 15 on third downs tonight. What did you see out of your defense out there that allowed them to be so successful in those situations?
You know, we got some batted balls, I think, that helped. There was a lot of probably 3rd and 7+, so it's much easier to get off the field on 3rd and 7+ than it is 3rd and 1 to 3. So I think that helped. You know, I think our guys probably played with a little better technique. We still don't get much pressure. We've got to continue to develop that. We got some guys who actually have some ability to do it, but they got to have understanding about get off, about, you know, what kind of pass move they're going to do, which the first thing needs to be speed. So we got a long ways to go in that regard. We got to be able to generate some pass rush.
Jeremy, what have you seen from Theo Jackson that made him deserving of some extended playing time there in the first half?
Well, for the most part, Theo knows what to do, and that's a start. You know, I think he's learning to communicate, and he tries to play with toughness. So, you know, he practiced better than the other guys. If the other guys practice better than him next week, they'll play and he'll watch.
It looked like y'all have been getting the ball to Josh Palmer in a couple different ways, you know, the run game, the pass game. Kind of where is he in his development and what's his upside as a player? I know he got kind of a later start to the game.
Yeah, well, for one, there for a while, Josh and Brandon, we didn't have a whole lot of receivers that were healthy, you know, so he got a lot of opportunities, a lot of turns. He, you know, got in some rhythm with the quarterback. You know, he can run. You know, the one deep ball down the field today, I thought he should have went back and high pointed the football. He caught the ball low, didn't use his body, his frame. So again, he's a guy that has size and speed, has pretty good hands. He tries to play the way we want him to play, but he hadn't played a lot of football, so he's learning, and I think he'll continue to develop and improve.
Any more questions? Jimmy, final question?
Jimmy, with some of the youth you have in the secondary, does that cause you to maybe be a little bit more simple with your defensive scheme right now, or are you running your entire package?
Yeah, no, you know, we've kind of had a philosophy that you only do what the players can do. Okay, it don't make a whole lot of sense to be making calls that you don't know if they can execute them or not. So we've tried to do that. You know, the one thing that'll happen is sometimes guys can do things on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday they get amnesia, which is not a good thing. So we tried to make sure that, you know, we call calls that guys can give them a chance to have success. You know, again, it's about making the other team beat you. If you beat yourself, you ain't got a shot. So.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.